Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. That's Central Time, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. We're your Fox News affiliates. You can also find us syndicated on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. Continue watching on all the social media sites. We appreciate you doing that as well. Facebook.com/DFiesel, YouTube. We got a channel there as well. Just look up Donna Fiesel and you'll find us. But again, thank you so much for watching. Continue sending emails. It makes my day. Continue sending emails. Donna@donnasedge.com. That's Donna@donnasedge.com. And thanks for the emails that you're sending for AP Steadham. He also has his own syndicated talk show, AP As We See It. Welcome back to the show, AP.
Hey, Donna, how are you today?
I'm doing great. It's finally stopping raining. It has just been raining like crazy. I was thinking about building an ark.
You need a second Donna for the ark or something. Yeah, whatever. But we need the rain. Of course, the farmers all need the rain, agricultural, and so. But it's you know what? It's nice at night. If it rains at night, it's great to sleep to the rain and the pitter patter, the rhythm.
When the hurricane came through here, the house we're living in right now had asphalt roof. And so the folks had to have the roof replaced, and they placed it with tin. And I'm just telling you, you can't not take a sleeping pill better than that. I mean, when it rains, it's going to come out like a lion.
The tin roof, yes. That sounds good.
So what's been going on in sports world? And let's talk a little bit about the show. What happened last week on AP As We See It?
Yeah, Donna, let's continue with the sports world at the moment. But the SEC is meeting in Destin, Florida. There's a lot of discussion about staying with the 8-game conference schedule or 9 games, but it's really all predicated on the college football playoff expanding from 12 to 16. The SEC is looking, along with the Big Ten, to capture 4 automatic qualifying spots. So that's 4 from the SEC, 4 from the Big Ten, 2 from the ACC, 2 from the Big 12. Then you have a spot for Notre Dame if they're available, and then there's a couple I think it's 3 at-large spots. So if that happens, I think they're trying to move to 9 games within the conference. But Donna, the press back is from the teams at the bottom half of the conference that are looking to win 6 games every year. So if you play 8 games in the conference, then you have a chance to schedule 4 games on your own non-conference. So some coaches are scheduling 4 teams that they should defeat on an annual basis. That means they would just have to have a record of, and it's really a low standard. When you think about it, Donna, imagine saying, let's go 2-6 and we're going to have a good year. 2-6 in the conference, win the 4 non-conference to get to 6 games. That is a low standard, Donna, to win 2 games every year in the conference. I mean, so if you play, for instance, have 9 games, then you're just upping it to 1. What you're saying is, can we win 3 games in the conference? And I think that's a absolutely low standard for 9 games as well. So I understand the coaches want to have a postseason opportunity to be in a bowl game to earn that berth, but that is so low of a standard for your team. We only think we're going to win 2 games. We have to play just 8. If it's 9, we're going to win 3 games and schedule 3 teams annually that we should beat. I don't know. I think I don't like that message that you're sending competitive athletes. It doesn't sound good to me.
But you're absolutely right. That's the message. It is.
When you think about it, that's the numbers. Okay, okay, alumni and fans, we want to win 2 games in the conference. I don't think if you presented it that way, but that's what it is. That's reality. And we're going to schedule 4 teams we can beat every year from some directional school or lower level schools. And I say lower level, I'm not degrading that school. I'm just saying they play in a different type of conference, historically known for it being a certain level of type of athlete. But I just find it goes against everything that competition stands for with your team. You're trying to do your very best, and you're telling them we can beat anybody any given day. But but really,
I've got to play this many
yeah,
games.
yeah. So anyway, so that's the big discussion. Big discussion.
It reminds me of. Okay, I was a corporate account executive for GTE for a long time. Now they're Verizon, and I remember my boss being in a meeting one time said he was talking to all of the salespeople. That's what an account executive is. It's a salesperson. But anyway, they made you feel better by calling you the commercial account executive. But it was sales.
Right.
And so I remember my boss saying, you know something, you're going to have to go out and send 10 people to make one sale. And I'm like, really? I got to go send? That doesn't sound right. In my mind, that didn't sound right. So the whole idea is I had to prove him wrong. And so, and then we had to keep up with the number of people we saw. That was part of the deal too.
Right.
It almost sounds like a sales presentation, what you said. So I just proved him wrong. So I kept up with it, and I said, you know what? No, I'm getting 8 sales out of every 10. Better than
right.
Right.
You're trying to up the standard. Yeah, that's a low standard. And for years and years, these coaches in the Southeastern Conference, they've always, I guess, voted for that 8-game schedule, and so they can win 6 games, 2 in the conference, and then 4 that they'll schedule. That, like I say, there's a 90+% chance that they're going to win. So I think that's lasted way too long, and you pandered to them for too many years, in my opinion. Yes, we know the conference is competitive. We saw last year when Vanderbilt beat Alabama, and Oklahoma, a team with 1 win. Oklahoma had 1 win in the conference, and they beat Alabama. So we know it's competitive, but gee whiz, you're getting paid a lot of money to be the head football coach, and you should be held to a higher standard than winning 2 games in the conference and making a bowl game by scheduling 4 other teams that you can beat 90-something% of the time. So anyway, so that's a big deal. So, and the other thing is the college football playoff, Donna, which the SEC, they're waiting to hear and get that negotiated. But the House settlement, there's a House settlement. It's it's settled by a judge in Berkeley, California, where the teams will have $20.8 million, I guess, to distribute, and they're trying to figure out how much of that $20 million should be devoted to football, because you have the other sports, you have the women's sports. So how much, you have 20-25% to spread throughout those other sports. So that's going to be a battleground with schools, because they know they want to be competitive in football. And I don't know, Don, like I've always told you, and I keep repeating it because you can't say it enough, who should get the money. Just because you have all the money doesn't mean you're giving it to the right athlete. And you have to have somebody on your staff that can evaluate talent. And then you have somebody that can manage the budget of paying the quarterback's probably going to get the most money every year on the team. The star wide receiver, if they're very, very good, running back, maybe an edge rusher, left tackle, corner, just like the NFL. The positions that pay the most in the NFL, it's going to be the same way in college now. The quarterback, and this is grown up athletics, where people are saying, "Oh, there's going to be dissension in the locker room." Well, wake up. You don't. If you're not playing quarterback, you're not getting the most money, more than likely. Okay, that's the real world. Do you want to play in the NFL? Well, you're going to meet the NFL at 18, 17 years old. This is how it operates. You're drafted as the left guard. You're the nose guard, the safety. You're not making as much as the quarterback. So get over yourself. This idea that you're not going to block for your quarterback. Well, if you don't, that's all on film. I don't think you'd want film showing you not blocking for your quarterback because you're mad because he's making more money than you. So people have that, well, there's going to be dissension. They're not going to block for the quarterback. Oh, really? I don't think so. I highly doubt it. If they have any sense, if anybody explains the idea, everything you do is on film. If you're not performing on film, you're taking money out of your own pocket. People. It's funny how people have, and you hear people say those things to me. Well, they're going to argue in the locker room. The quarterback makes more money. They're not going to block for the quarterback. I said, well, hold on, just back up a second. Let's review this scenario that you're describing here. It's not going to happen, because if the center's not snapping the ball correctly or blocking for the quarterback, number one, they're going to be replaced, and that film is going to be out there for the NFL to watch. We're not drafting this player. He can't block and he can't snap the ball. go. So, this is not child. You're not in second grade anymore. This is the real world. This is how it operates. Quarterback makes the most money. And
Yeah,
then
but
accordingly, all these other positions, right?
I have a question from Adrian, and this kind of fits in. But you just made me think of his question. So
Okay.
Adrian said, with the monies coming in, who is
Right.
really, of course, you're going to have to look for sponsors. Is that correct? If we're looking at this right, I mean,
Donations and sponsors and things. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so when you think about, okay, a sponsor wants to get the most benefit out of the money they're paying you. Okay, like
That's right. Yeah.
same deal, when people run
Right.
ads with you on our shows. Okay, so are they necessarily going to be looking for the person with the personality or the most skilled person?
Good question. Good question. Yeah, I think, Donna, if you're a defensive lineman or a linebacker, offensive lineman, if you have a big personality and command attention on your social media platforms, that is a possibility. That is a possibility. But in this day and age, how do you determine? What can you determine that would garner the most attention for your business? It's the person who has that social media platform. I mean, there are gymnasts and women's basketball players that make way more than a football player. Why? Because they have that social media platform with the big numbers. So that answers your question. But more than likely, they're going to try to attach themselves to a star offensive player, probably a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. But it could be the exception, as you described. And the reason would be because of their social media platform, and they have an engaging, big personality.
I can see that argument, but then I'm also a results person. So if it were me, I would be looking for the person. I really wouldn't care whether they had a good personality or not. I would be looking for someone that's going to have results out there on the field. I'm just saying if I were the sponsor.
Right. And then in collaboration, you might increase that person's social media presence. As you said, they're dependable. You know that they're going to behave. I mean, you're trying to group yourself with an individual that's respectful, and people like that person. So that's a possibility that you see a diamond in the rough. You say, I like this player. Maybe their social platform's not as big, but I think with my product, my business, we can grow that mine and that person's as well. We'll collaborate. Yeah.
Well, another question came in. This was from Peggy. And Peggy said, what are you going to do about a player who's making a bunch of money and his head swells?
Oh, right. Yeah. The coaches, right. The coaches usually can solve that issue quite quickly because the threat of sitting on the bench always changes behavior. Let's say changes behavior.
Example of that with Coach Paul Bear Bryant and Joe Namath.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, to keep the player humble to some degree. I think that's the coach's responsibility, the staff, his teammates, to be accountable to them as well. So, hey, Don, I just want to mention, you asked me about the show last week. We had a lot of fun. We had Keelan Russell's mother, April Moore. Keelan is the sensational freshman quarterback at Alabama. He was a nice National High School Player of the Year in some places. And then we had John Garcia Jr., the Rivals.com Director of National Recruiting. So we had a lot of fun with the mom of a star quarterback, a freshman quarterback at Alabama, and then John Garcia Jr. is the Director of National Scouting. So they can check that out on my YouTube channels and Spotify at AP As We See It, and of course the radio stations. And we always archive it on Spotify and my YouTube channel at AP As We See It.
I got to ask you a question. Okay, anytime a mom is being interviewed, okay,
yes.
It has to be this, or they're going to say something that's going to embarrass me. I mean, what did she say? What was your biggest takeaway from the interview?
Right. Yeah. April was a very interesting individual. She's from Tupelo, Mississippi, and she's a graduate of Ole Miss, so she was familiar with SEC football. And her son, Keelan, and that's the name, that's how you pronounce it, Keelan, he played at high school at Duncanville High School in Texas. But she was familiar with the SEC because she was a graduate of Ole Miss. So, but she was very level-headed, and she recommended to have a team of people to manage her son's career. She understands that there are areas where doesn't have the expertise. So I think that was a very deliberate approach and smart. And so I was glad to have her as a guest because, when you ask the question sometimes, Donna, you don't know what the answer might be of the person you're interviewing. But I thought she made some great points for other mothers and family members if they have an athlete, son or daughter, that's entering the world of college athletics.
You just don't know what your mother's going to say when she's asked a question. Let's go into a commercial break. We'll return in just a minute. Everybody hang in there, okay? We'll be right back. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of the Cobb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared.
and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Good afternoon. We're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. on the Central Time Zone, as we get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You can find us a number of ways, all the social media sites. Don't get in trouble. I don't want you to get fired or anything. So you can always go to Facebook.com, and you can watch AP, all the interviews. And let me give you a little secret, especially on Facebook and on Twitter. If you're looking for a past show with AP, all you got to do is type in Donna Fiesel, AP Steadham. They'll pull them all up. You're doing the search, and you'll be able to find them all. So you'll see how AP has really grown too. And wow, I'm really proud of you, AP. You've done a lot.
Thank you, Donna. You helped me so much through the years. I can't tell you how much I sincerely appreciate everything you've done.
You're doing it, not me. I'm just here. I'm just so, but anyway, congratulations on everything you do, and congratulations on being syndicated. That's been going on for quite a while, so that's yes. A good thing. That's a good thing. We've had more questions. A lot of it's about Alabama and about Auburn. How do you see both of them? And and one was a political question. Okay. Kind of a political question, and I can see this coming. This comes from Andrew, and Andrew said, "Do you think that Coach Tommy Tuberville is going to run for governor? Do you think there'll be Alabama fans voting for him?"
Yes, I think so. I mean, I think that's happened.
For goodness sake, he's a senator. Some of the Alabama fans
exactly.
vote for him, senator too.
Right, exactly, yeah.
We're not that hardcore, but I got to tell you this: both my granddads were Alabama fan. I don't know that they would have voted for him simply because he used to be an Auburn coach. Right.
I think if you look at the surveys through the years, Donna, in the state of Alabama, it's about a 65 to 35 number situation with Alabama and Auburn. So that's quite a few for Alabama. That's about 30% more for Alabama than Auburn. It's in that range usually when they take the survey.
Yeah, but I think the voters, I think that they'll be thinking of the proud state of Alabama first.
Oh, right. Yeah. But I just wanted to point out that if that was the case with your question from Andrew, that 65 is for Alabama and 35 is for Auburn, that gives you your answer right there. It couldn't happen. He couldn't be elected if it would remain. Those numbers remain the same. Yeah.
Well, he was elected Senate, so I think it'll work out. Absolutely. So that takes care of that question. Others are about how you're seeing. Are you seeing anything out there right now? And everything is new, so it's almost like starting all over again.
Yes, that's right.
Is there anything that indicates that Alabama will be number one? That's what I'm hearing. Will be number one this season.
Well, Alabama will have a good team. They're going to have to establish their quarterback. I think that has to be more consistent. They have three candidates. The person that they're claiming right now would be the starter's Ty Simpson, who's been there 3 or 4 years. So if they can establish the quarterback, I think the defense will be fairly strong. I think the receivers, the room will be improved overall. So, and then they have a new offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, who was with Kalen DeBoer, Washington, very successful. So I think Alabama will be fine if they establish that quarterback. But like I said, they have 3 candidates. They're gonna find somebody that can play that position with consistency and at a high level. I think Auburn's receivers are going to be better because they have some quarterbacks that have better skills. I think Jackson Arnold, the transfer from Oklahoma, then they have Deuce Knight, I believe is Auburn, the freshman. He's a left-hander. He's a freshman coming into Auburn. So I think Auburn's quarterback play will be improved. Defensively, they should be strong. I think Tennessee, their quarterback transfer, Nico Iamale, UCLA. They have the transfer from Appalachian State to UCLA, now to Tennessee. So he's been, I think he had over 6,000 yards in his career. So everybody has a big question with Tennessee's quarterback, see how he will play in Josh Heupel's system. So people are saying that Tennessee might take a little dip because they have to play some people on defense. Had a big time running back who left the program, moved on. He was tremendous for them last year. So that's what I would say about the three teams. Alabama's in a position to be probably one of the top four. Auburn's trying to get to that middle or above. And Tennessee, who was in the top 3 or 4 last year, they're trying to probably creep into that position this year because of the losses they had from graduation and people moving on to the pros. But Donna, there's one thing I wanted to bring up about this 8 and 9 game schedule business for the Southeastern Conference. You could lose some of the rivalry games. Alabama, Tennessee is one of those games that maybe they're not going to compete every year. Wow. Auburn, Georgia might not compete every year because they're going to have to come up with a different rotation. Tennessee, the teams that they play on an annual basis, Vanderbilt and Georgia, that could be rotated. So there's changes on the horizon.
Let me ask you about stamina. Okay, because the guys are going to be playing more football, and then in the winter months you're subject to colds and flus and that kind of thing. Do you think there are other, careers being manifested out there just to take care of situations like that? Because when you work harder, your stamina, sometimes you'll lose a little bit.
Right. They have these strength and conditioning coaches and the nutritionists. The strength and conditioning, Don, some of those coaches are paid very well. And so much that they're hired and relieved of their duties if it's not to the satisfaction of the head coach. Too many injuries in 1 year. They want to get down to find out the reason that happens for the team. The nutrition, are our players in shape? Are they eating the right foods? So those are critical positions within a program. So they're taken very seriously. Yes,
I would say so. So President Trump does not need to feed people McDonald's hamburgers when they come to the White House, right?
Right. Yeah, McDonald's. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Don't do it. Okay, less than 2 minutes left in this segment. What would you like to tell the folks before you go? And who's going to be on your show, AP, as we see it next?
Yes, Donna, very interesting show this week. You have Professor Ellen Starosky. She's from Ithaca College. She's a sports media, college of communication expert, but she follows the trends in college athletics. She's very knowledgeable about the things happening in with the money situation and the structure of college athletics. So we'll have her. And then we're going to have Landon Duckworth, a quarterback from Jackson, Alabama, and his mother Tiffany, going to be on the show together. So it's always interesting. We have the athlete and his mom together. So that'd be a lot of fun. So AP, as we see it, you can check that out on our YouTube channel, on Spotify, on the radio stations. And then also keep an eye out on the meetings, the SEC spring meetings, what's going to happen, what might be voted on, 8-game schedule, 9-game schedule, because they have to come up with something for this 2026 season and moving beyond. That's very, very important. And it's all determined by this college football playoff and what's going to happen with 12 to 16 teams to 14 teams. So a lot of big moves that are happening here in college athletics, college football.
Lots of new changes that are going to have to be kind of outlined as well. AP, thank you so much for being with us. It's always a pleasure. I always look forward to our segments, and I always look forward to being with you guys too. Thank you again so much for sending emails, and I definitely appreciate those. Donna at donnasedge.com, Donna at donnasedge.com. You take care.